A very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Uplift Show with me, your host, Protas. I hope you've woken up well. It is indeed a new week, and we bless the Lord for helping us to get this far and to this point of the month. It is the 16th of September 2024, and we have started off the week on a very high note, and we thank the Lord for his faithfulness. We bless the Lord for his amazing mercy and his love to getting us to this point of the day and of the month. We do hope that you had a great weekend last weekend on Saturday and Sunday. We do hope you got some time to rest off, some family time if you're a family person. And, we also hope that you went to church yesterday and you had an amazing time. But for now, let's kick off the show for today. We have an amazing show lined up for you, and each and every day, from Monday to Friday, right here at Truth TV, we come to you with the best of the best morning show. That is the Morning Uplift with me, your host, Protas. And today we have an amazing show lined up for you. On our devotional for the day, we'll be talking about faith. That's right. We'll be talking about faith, understanding what faith is and the dynamics around it. We'll also be giving you an inspirational video of the day that is based on your mindset, and we'll be talking about that in a few minutes. And also for our third segment of the day, we'll be talking about faith and entrepreneurship. That's right, faith and entrepreneurship. And we'll be having a guest in studio to help us understand the dynamics of faith and entrepreneurship. So allow me to get into the word of the day. Today we're talking about faith, and we'll be reading our main verse of the day, but we want to understand some few fundamentals about faith before we get started and before we get into the word of today. And we truly hope that the Lord will speak to you, and the Lord is present even right now, and that the Lord will give you, an amazing word of the day and of the week, even as you kickstart your day. So when it comes to faith, we normally place our faith in, very random things without actually knowing it. We also place our faith in countless people, very many people. For example, when we stand up, we believe that our legs will not allow us to fall down. As interesting as it is, we believe that when we probably get out of bed or when we are seated and we are standing up, we believe that our legs will support us and help us, move and, get around our environment. Also believe sometimes if you're a person who drives or if you're a person who cycles or, whatnot, we also believe that when it comes to, driving or cycling, we believe that when we want to stop, we understand that. We believe, and at that time we understand and we believe that when we pull up the brakes or when we step on the brakes, we'll be able to stop at that particular time. So imagine you're having faith in your brakes. Imagine you're having faith in your brake pedals, or when it comes to driving, you are understanding that when you pull or when you step on the brakes of your car, you understand and you believe that truly the car will stop. When it comes to even our personal lives, for those who are employed or for those who are also in business, we believe that God will bless us with the customers of the day. We believe that when it comes to us being employed, we believe that at the end of the time that we have worked, we believe that our boss will pay us. And, so we show up for the job each and every day. We come, to the job each and every day as a faithful steward, because we believe that at the end of it all, we'll be paid by our boss. And we see that we place our faith in very many things and countless people each and every day. Even when it comes to our bodies, we place our faith. For those who have been blessed with the gift of, walking, we place our faith, in our legs, that they will support us. And that is exactly, when it comes to faith, we have to understand that when we have faith in something, when we believe in something, our behavior is in turn affected. So we act out of faith because we know that it will not, fail us at that particular moment. But when it comes to the opposite of this very same thing, we understand that the opposite of faith is actually actually fear, and we can choose one or another when it comes to our normal day-to-day activities. So imagine a world in where a car, breaks only when it works, half time. After every 30 minutes, it breaks down. Maybe if it's that bicycle, it breaks down after every 30 minutes. Definitely you will walk in fear, because now you are like, I won't be able to get in a long distance when I'm probably traveling or when I'm moving around with my car, because it keeps on breaking. And that's the same case when it comes to faith. The opposite of faith is fear. And so when we don't act in faith, we are held by fear, and we're like, we don't believe probably that we are going to make it through by the end of whatever we are doing. And so our main scripture of the day comes from Hebrews chapter 10 verse 38, that says, "Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draws back, my soul shall not have no pleasure in him." Let me read that again. I'm reading from the King James Version, and that is from Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38. It says, "Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draws back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him." And we also have to understand that when it comes to faith, God is pleased by our faith. Each and every time, God is pleased by our faith. And God is infinitely more reliable than the normal day-to-day activities or the finest car in the market that we believe has the best brakes in the market. God is infinitely more reliable than the people that are around us, that we know that even if we call them at midnight, they will show up. God is infinitely more reliable than that. If you've read the book, God's Generals, we are being told that Smith Wigglesworth was a radical man of faith. If you've read the book, it was so clear. In fact, Robert Ladons in God's Generals, he says that Smith, he's referred to as an apostle of faith. He mentioned Smith Wigglesworth, that he was an apostle of faith. And actually, he is famously quoted to have said that, "I will rather, die believing than die doubting." Imagine coming to that point of faith. And while this statement is also true, we also want to, get to understand a more deeper revelation and a more deeper understanding when it comes to faith. As much as this statement is also admirable, as much as it is also teaching us, more about faith, we have to also understand what it comes to having a deeper understanding and a deeper revelation of how faith works. When we have read this verse of the day, the Bible has just told us that the just live by faith. And that automatically means that if you have, nothing, if anything is or nothing is grounded in faith, anything can die. As long as it is not grounded in faith, anything can die. Why? Because faith makes everything to live. Faith makes everything to live. And if you truly believe God to, pull you through a situation, if you believe him, if you have faith in him, you will never and you can never die in that situation. Why? Because it is faith. It is as a result of faith that you are actually walking. You are actually alive today. It is by faith that you are walking by, and that it is by faith that you understand and you believe that you will surely pull through. And sometimes the devil may, over time launch any manner of attack against you or against your family or against even the people around you. But it is the firm foundation of faith, the firm foundation on Christ that you are standing on, that, understanding and believing that God will never let you down. And so we also have to understand that faith, when it comes to our personal lives, it is a fertile ground in which businesses thrive. It is the fertile ground in which our own personal lives thrive. It is the the foundational and the fertile ground in which even marriages and ministries stand on and even grow over time. And on the other hand, in unbelief, as we have said, the opposite of faith is fear, and unbelief also in unbelief you shall, shrivel and die. In the same way that in faith there is life. When you don't have faith, things die. And so we have, gotten to understand what exactly faith is. And we have said that, God is pleased by our faith. And more so, we are being told in Hebrews 10:38 that the just shall live by faith. But if any man draws back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. So when we have faith, God has, pleasure in us. He is pleased by our faith each and every day. And as we wrap up this conversation and as we wrap up our devotional of the day, we have understood that keep your faith, because it is in your faith that, life is given out. It is in your faith that God will never, let you down, because that is the firm foundation on which we step and which we live in. So keep your faith. It might look like the odds are attached to, your circumstances or even in your morning, how your morning is looking like, but keep your faith most importantly. Make sure to keep your faith, come rain, come sunshine, because you have to understand that faith carries the seed of life. Faith carries the seed of life, and over time, you will not allow death to come near you or to reign in any circumstance. Why? Because you have faith. So have faith. Have faith that your week is going to be amazing. Have faith that the Lord will pull through in some of the circumstances and the situations that you feel like no one can come in and feel or understand what you're going through. Have faith, because God will never let you down. And what's more, faith is the seed of life, and God is pleased by our faith. So our golden nugget of today is that nothing, absolutely nothing grounded in faith can die, because faith makes things live. So be faithful. Ensure that your faith is kept up. Ensure, most importantly, that your faith is founded and is, having the firm foundation when it comes to God. So we continue with the conversation. Right about now, we want to go for a short break. And when we come back, we'll be giving you the inspirational video of the day. But for now, please do send in your feedback via the number that is on your screen. We are also live on our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Please do follow us for this amazing content and even more. But for now, let's catch a break and see you after the break. Enjoy.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Welcome to Annie Planet, where the wonders of the animal kingdom come to life. Join us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the untamed beauty of nature and witness the extraordinary lives of creatures big and small. From the mighty jungles to the vast oceans, Annie Planet takes you on a journey beyond imagination. Get ready to embark on a wild ride filled with captivating stories, stunning visuals, and fascinating facts about our planet's incredible inhabitants. Annie Planet, where every creature has a tale. Don't miss out on the adventure. Every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. only on Truth TV.
Morning Uplift show with me, your host, Mercy Protas. In the event you are joining in, you are not too late for the show. We've just done our devotional that was talking about faith, and our main scripture of the day was coming from Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38, which says that the just will not live by faith, but if any man draws back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. And we talked about how important it is to keep our faith up. Why? Because faith carries the seed of life, and whatever you put your faith in, it cannot die, because Christ is also, glorified in us as we put our faith in him. He is pleased by us. Right about now, we want to give you the inspirational video of today. That is a motivational video of today, and particularly today we are talking about the entrepreneurship mindset. And so as we get to, have our day started off, we want to give you this amazing video, and we hope that you will be inspired by it, and most importantly, you'll be empowered by it. Here's the video. Enjoy.
Calculated. Entrepreneurship is reserved for the resilient. Don't even step on the playing field if you have not counted up the cost of entrepreneurship. So there are two sides to the coin of entrepreneurship. There's heads and there's tails. And most people fail to see tails. They see heads, the face of it. They live on the surface, the lights, the cameras, the action, the yachts, the fame. But they don't see the blood, the sweat, the tears. Anybody that is willing to make the sacrifices. They stay up late, they work longer, they are more focused, pay the price, and get the job done and finish what they started. Those are the ones who will succeed. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to need to lead.
The world needs more creative, resilient, passionate, committed, focused, disruptive entrepreneurs. The last thing we need is somebody to come along with another good idea, but they don't have the passion, the perseverance, and the grit to get the job done. We don't need another person that's going to start something and quit in 6 months. Don't tell me you want to step into a room and dominate if you don't have passion. Don't tell me that you want to be a disruptive entrepreneur and you want to step into a room with a new idea and challenge and change the status quo, and you don't have passion. Right now you may be in pain. Right now you may be hurting. But if you have vision, you are able to see past the pain and look into the eyes of the future. Your perspective can either become your prison or your passport. It can either arrest you or release you. In 1903, it was the Wright brothers that defied the laws of gravity. And if you know anything about gravity, gravity will pull you down and keep you down. It will stop you from flight. It will stop you in your tracks. If you believe in something, metaphorically speaking, gravity will hold you down, it will hold you back, and it will dare you to fight. Your perspective can either be your prison or your plane. I don't know about you, but today I made the decision to defy the laws of gravity. The first successful heavier-than-air powered aircraft was designed and built by the Wright brothers. They flew it 4 times on December 17, 1903, near Kill Devil Hills, about 4 miles. I believe possibility is destiny, and it is fear that keeps us arrested and apprehended by the spirit of impossibility. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and nobody else is gonna tell you this. Impossible is a spirit, and you've got to arrest that spirit or it will arrest you. Impossibility is like a soda fountain, the easy way out, the path of least resistance, because to say something is impossible, to give up, to cop out, to fill your cup of carbonated excuses, it tastes good, but it doesn't sit well as it goes down into your system. To remove the 2 letters is the grit of existence, the binding faith of hope to your chest and letting your heart beat. You gotta rewrite the code, you gotta rewrite the script. Calling all reformers, I'm calling all innovators, I'm calling all game changers, I'm calling all world shakers, I'm calling all city shifters, I'm calling everybody that has an inkling of faith in themselves, I'm calling everybody. You will inherit the future.
If you're not where you want to be financially, if you're not where you want to be emotionally, if you're not where you want to be physically, relationally, socially, 10 times out of 10, it is because you have settled in a place called convenience. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to admit the fact that you've gotten lazy. I'm gonna tell you this right now, some praise can be poison. It keeps you locked in a state of paralysis and you shining trophies from the past. And that's why you always hear those people from the past like, yeah, remember back in the day when I used to do this, remember back in the day. They're still shining the trophy of the past accomplishments. So sometimes we can receive praise like a venomous snake that injects its poisonous venom in our veins and in our heart that causes us to stay locked in a state of paralysis. And I'm still praising the work I've done. And we get full. We get real full. This is what happens when people keep telling you, you're so good, oh, you're so great, or you did so good 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. If you continue to believe that your best work is behind you, then you will never achieve what is ahead of you. Go ask any athlete, actor, musician, philanthropist, athlete, it doesn't matter. You ask anybody who is a champion. And the difference between them and their opponent is they were more hungry for it. I don't care if you got to listen to me 1,000 times. I need you to get crystal clear about your future. Because the only reason why you are here, the only reason why you're alive is because you have work to do. And you got to figure out, why on earth are you here? What is your destiny? What is the dream that God has given you? You got to have like a shark mentality, because if a shark swims backward, it dies. A shark can only move forward. And so I need you every single day you wake up to smell blood and go after that dream. If there's anything I can pour from my heart, if there's anything I can give you in this moment, my greatest piece of advice is to protect your hunger. You show me a man who is failing, and I will prove to you that he is no longer hungry. When you are hungry, you are creative. When you are hungry, you are innovative. When you are hungry, when you are no longer full, when you are no longer satisfied with where you are and you raise your standards, it is only then that you can have your future. If you can stay hungry, you can get the resources. If you can stay hungry, you can get the strategy. If you can stay hungry, the ideas gonna come. If you can stay hungry, the connections will be aligned. If you can stay hungry. The problem with many of you is that you got full, you got complacent, you got lazy. Somewhere along the line, you lost your enthusiasm, your optimism. You lost your hunger. I'm never full. I'm never full. I'm never full. I'm never full. If you want your future, then you are going to have to get acquainted with pain, with discomfort, with inconvenience. Because hunger is the only thing that's going to give you the power to persevere through that pain. Never stop climbing the hill. There is always another hill to climb. Go find your hill and climb. You gotta be hungry for your dream. You gotta be hungry for your next level. You gotta be hungry for connection and alignment. You have to be hungry to fulfill your destiny. Hunger is not an idea. Hunger is not a mood. Hunger is a lifestyle. I'm never full. This is me every day, all day. I'm hungry to learn. You gotta be hungry to read.
You have to be hungry to grow. You have to be hungry to manifest what is in your head. When you're full, you can't receive. When you're full, you lose vision. When you're full, you get lazy. When you're full, you procrastinate. When you're full, you sleep. And I need you to get to the place where you're no longer sleeping. I need inconvenience to be your new norm. If you're not inconvenienced every day, you need to be inconvenienced. Every day, I need you out of your comfort zone. If you're going to win the fight for your future, if you want generational cycles broken in your family, if you want to be the first to achieve, the first to get it done, the first to see it, the first to do it, you must stay hungry.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Uplift show. We hope that video was inspirational to you. And just in case you are joining us right now, we had talked about, faith for our devotional of the day, and we got to understand how important it is to have faith, because faith pleases God and it is a seed that carries life. So you can never go wrong when it comes to faith. And also having an entrepreneurial mindset also helps you to think outside the box, as you've seen in the video. But right about now, we want to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about faith in business, faith in the marketplace. And in studio, we have a very, very special guest that will be taking us to that very same topic. But for now, let's take a break and do not touch that dial. See you after the break.
Welcome to Annie Planet, where the wonders of the animal kingdom come to life. Join us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the untamed beauty of nature and witness the extraordinary lives of creatures big and small. From the mighty jungles to the vast oceans, Annie Planet takes you on a journey beyond imagination. Get ready to embark on a wild ride filled with captivating stories, stunning visuals, and fascinating facts about our planet's incredible inhabitants. Annie Planet, where every creature has a tale. Don't miss out on the adventure. Every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. only on Truth TV.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Welcome back to the Morning Uplift show with me, your host, Protas. And we are back with another amazing show. You don't know that we are the best. We are bringing you the best breakfast show these days. And we are coming to you every day from Monday all through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with me, your host, Protas. And today we are talking about faith, and business when it comes to understanding the aspect of faith in business. Just in case you are also tuning in right now, we had talked about faith for our devotional, and we talked about how important it is when it comes to our day-to-day life that God is pleased by us when it comes to acting in faith. And so we should never, and we can never go wrong when it comes to faith. And so we continue with the conversation right about now with this segment. We are talking about faith in business. business. And in studio with me, we are coming to you live from Truth TV studio. As I had told you before we went for the break, we have a very, very special guest in studio. That is Mr. Jackson. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Looking sharp.
Thank you, appreciate it. You too.
Thank you, karibu sana.
Asante.
How are you feeling this morning? It's a new week.
I'm blessed. I really want to thank God for for giving us life
Yeah.
and joy.
Yes,
Yes.
truly.
Yeah.
So we can start off by you introducing yourself to our viewers. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. My name is Jackson Mushina Morioki. I'm the director or the CEO of CJEX UK Bicycles. That's a business that we do of importation of bicycles from UK. It is based in Nakuru here. Yeah, that's who I am. And I'm also a born again Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a mover. We know you from CJX UK Bicycles.
Yes.
You're a true mover in this city.
Thank you.
But really, today we want to talk about faith and, in the business aspect. When it comes to faith, what do you understand when it comes to faith, and how is it, when it comes to business?
Yeah, I must say this is a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as you know, faith is a very fundamental thing in our lives.
Yeah.
Especially to the lives of believers.
Yes.
And I would want to look at at faith or the discussion that we have today in a perspective of Christianity.
Yeah.
And again, a little bit looking at the principles of life.
Yes.
I want to say that when you define faith, faith is a substance or is a strong belief. Faith is that conviction that you have that push you to another level.
Yeah.
And in business, we seriously need that.
True.
And I want to begin by saying Jesus or God is the author of business.
Wow. Okay.
Because if we define business is an occupation, or business is a trade, and business we can say it's work. And the Bible says in the book of Genesis that in the beginning, God created. And I want to say that I'm a student of Reverend Elijah. Recently, he taught us, about how the earth did not have a form. You remember?
Yes.
He put it in his word. It was tohu and vohu.
Yeah.
And God decided to give it a form.
Yeah.
So in other words, God started work. It's from that point that he started work. So work was started by God. And when we talk about business, we cannot assume the aspect of money.
Yeah.
Because it is the media of exchange. It's
Yes.
what we give when. The Bible says that God, the silver and gold belong into the Father. So in other words, all the money that we use to do exchange and all that belongs to God. So I'm looking at, business in that perspective.
Okay.
That money belongs to God. And he is the one who started work. Let me define what I define work or business to me.
Yeah.
To me, I define business as the knowledge that you have and other people don't have. In other words, there is that thing that you know and people don't know. And so you are solving a certain problem
Yeah.
that people don't know how to solve it. And in the process, you earn from it. So this knowledge that you have and other people don't have, I think that's what we call an idea.
Okay.
And business does not start with money, it starts with an idea.
An idea of solving a problem.
Of solving a problem.
Great.
So when we have this idea of how we can solve a certain problem, we earn from it.
From it.
And so who gives the idea? Where do we get the ideas? I believe that most of ideas that we have, we get from God.
Good, yeah.
God is able to give us ideas. And in each and every human being, there is a deposit. There is that which that God had put in their mind and their heart.
Yeah.
And the Bible says that God is the author and the finisher of our faith. In other words, He is the one who started faith in us, and He's the one who knows where the faith will go. I also want to quote Martin Luther. Martin Luther said that you have, if you want to predict the future,
Right.
you have to make your own future. In other words, if you want to tell us how future will look like, it is you who will do something.
Yeah.
We also say that faith is a substance. In other words, faith without actions
It's dead.
is dead.
Right.
So we need to have that substance
Yeah.
that will propel us even to the future. So that's how I look at, business and
And
faith.
faith. Okay.
But I want to put a disclaimer here.
Okay.
Not every believer who is doing it well in business. Or business is not only for the people who say they are Christians.
Okay.
Because there is what we call principles of life.
Of life, yeah.
And if you take the principles of life well, I think you'll succeed.
True.
And some of the principles of life, for example, is that, use your time well. Another principle is do not provoke people.
Oh,
Listen
yeah.
unto people. Solve dispute. And another principle of life is that give, it shall come back to you.
Oh, interesting.
You see, these are principles.
Yes.
The people who follow principles, they succeed. And most of the time, and where I want to say that Christians have not, have gone wrong, is whereby they don't use the principles.
Yeah.
Or they use faith without actions.
Actions, yeah.
So we need to combine the two. That when we are speaking about faith, we also need to remember
That
that
we need
there
to
is-
act on it.
you need
Actions.
to act on it.
Yeah.
And to me, the people who are in business, there is something that they need that is very important. They need wisdom.
True.
And wisdom is like the deposit that we have and other people don't have. Even in business, you need to know, when to quit, when to start. You need to understand. And this wisdom, most of the time, is come from God.
Yeah.
Comes from God.
Yeah.
So I want to look at business whereby being inspired by God. For example, I want to take my case.
Yeah.
I told you that I do business of importation, but I never started by importing.
Okay.
Actually, that's not my profession. Me, I did something to do with film production,
Oh.
and I practiced that
Yeah.
for some time.
Yeah.
But living in this life and realizing that there is something else that I can do. With time, I kept on listening, and I realized that there is something that I used to like so much. I used to love bicycles.
Okay.
Because even from when I was young,
Yeah.
I used to have a bicycle. And the funny thing is, every time that people from my village wanted to buy a bicycle, they could come with me in town. And ask me, unaweza tuchagulia bike?
Bike.
So I realized I used to have something that people did not have.
Right.
And this was the deposit. And I started stocking bicycles one by one. In fact, I started by selling one bicycle. And I always tell people, I sold my first bicycle to a guy called Talam. I met Talam after many years, and he
Yeah.
was like, "You still sell bicycles?" But at that time, I was not selling bicycles.
Yes.
He only admired my bike.
Wow. So the one you had?
Yes. And I asked him, "How much can you give?" And I realized I'm going to make profit. So I gave out the bike, and I
Got
bought
the money.
another one.
Oh, wow.
So from that time, I have never lacked a bike. All through, I used to have a bicycle. And there was a time when I started now realizing that this is a deposit other people don't have. I started stocking 2 bicycles, 3 bicycles.
Ah, yeah.
And I realized now it's time even to quit where I work.
Wow.
Because from 1 bicycle, I could now sell 2 bicycles, 5 bicycles, 10 bicycles. When it reached to a point that I need to have like 20 bicycles, then there was no need of being employed.
Anymore, yeah.
So that's when I quit my business. And I'll start my job, and I started now doing selling bicycles. And I mean, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now, we no longer have 10 bicycles. We no longer have 1 bicycle. We have thousands of bicycles.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think is that, and you know, through it all, and I mean, from when I started selling 1 bicycle, I've realized God taking me step by step, revealing things to me.
Yeah.
You know, when you realize what you need to do, you cannot do it alone. And you need people.
You need people around you.
You need knowledge.
Yeah.
And I have really benefited from many people who have come, you know, in my life and who has taught me very many things. And maybe to mention that I have really benefited from Bishop Mark Karaoke, because there are things that he said from when I was young, and they really helped me. For example, Bishop Mark taught us that everything have ears.
Everything has ears, yeah.
Like you can speak to a bicycle and tell it, you know, you don't have to stay here. I brought here so that you can locate your owner.
Yeah, yeah.
And the bicycle will hear. You know, to many people, they might not know what that means to us. But somebody like me, a businessman, when I come to my go down, I speak to my bicycles. And I tell them, you see, you're not here to stay.
Yeah.
You need to locate your owner very soon. The other thing that I've learned from Bishop Mark is homologio. You remember homologio?
Yes.
That, you know, speak the same thing with the Father. Saying what God is saying. And that has really worked for me.
Yeah.
I've been able to speak what God is speaking, because the world will speak different. The world will call you a loser. The world will say, you know, things cannot work. The economy will speak to you.
Yeah.
You know, people will say it's hard times. But what is God saying?
About the business.
You need to homologio.
Yeah.
You need to speak the same thing with the Father.
And it's interesting how faith, you know, moves a mountain, but to the people of the world, it might not seem as something that is making sense. But also one thing that you said when it comes to business, you get an idea from the Lord. Now, when it comes to our viewers, could you help them understand? Maybe someone is, you know, looking forward to start their own business. They want to, you know, as you've said, they've learned that, you know, when it comes to business, you are taking a problem and creating a solution. So how do they go about, you know, finding a balance when it comes to hearing God of the idea that God is giving you, and also when it comes to finding a problem and actually now getting the solution, now turning it into a business?
Thank you. I think what you have said is very important. That, you know, how do you teach yourself how to hear?
How to hear God, yeah.
How to hear God, because it's only God who can take you from one level to another.
Right.
And we also say that faith comes by hearing, and hearing
The Word of God.
the Word of God.
Right.
And you know, the world is speaking a lot, and one need to have this discerning spirit to know what you pick and what you don't pick.
Yeah.
And most of people, when they want to do business, instead of hearing from God, they hear from people. And that's why most of the people, when people hear that, I remember some business that, you know, back then, they really put people into problems. like the quail business, where people had that, this is the business, and everybody went home without even doing any research.
On it.
They started investing in that. After some time, they say, I don't know, rabbit urine or something, it is making a kill, and people went there. And I think most of people, they are not hearing from God, they hear from people. People want to hear, what is CJ doing? CJ is selling bicycle.
They copy that.
I want to sell bicycles.
Bicycles as well,
As well. But you see, it's God who is the author. This idea should start with God. And whatever you have started with God, it can never go wrong. It will stand the test of time. So I think it is very, very important for somebody to train themselves to hear God. And one way that you hear God is to hear men of God. Like, if you stay with me, if you stick with me, I'll continue quoting people.
True.
I'll quote Bishop Mark. I'll quote, somebody like Andrew Womack. And, I'm also a student of Andrew Womack. And Andrew Womack, I would say he is a great man of faith. He's one of the people who is able to listen to God and do things that, are not from this world. And it's beyond the power of human beings. Like somebody like me, I normally say, whatever that we do is not what human being can do. If I were to be taken to school to study business, probably I'll not be doing what I'm doing today.
Right now,
But God has a way of showing you. God is able to teach you. And mnasema nataka kusoma kwa shule yako. And that's a song I used to listen. Nifundishe nataka kusoma kwa shule yako. There is that school of God where God can train you, where God can make you see a need. Most of the time when we walk with God, we are able to identify a need. Most of the time when we walk with God, God is able to send people on our way. Because most of the people will teach us. It's not God himself. He'll use people. And some of these people will come on our way. They'll speak in a very faint voice. But we might try as a discern to say, I think
God is.
So there is that, giving yourself to Christ and understanding, and also listening to people and not ignoring. I want to give an example. One of the guys that I work with, who is a very good mechanic, when it's come to bicycle, he knows how to fix bicycles. He's actually the best. And even the father was doing the same. This guy, I found him when he was, a big drunkard. But I used to go see how he's fixing bicycles. And I stand there. And I realized sometime I even buy him soup so that he can become a little bit strong. And with the time he started loving me.
Wow.
And God wanted to send this guy to my business. Today he is a very informed person who is helping our business. So at times we miss what could have worked for us.
Because we don't discern. True.
And God wants to use, and you remember Moses. God asked him, what is in your hand?
In your hand.
Whatever that was in hand, it was not of great importance. But that's what God used. So I think there is a need to be sensitive and also, to seek knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Because there are things that people will tell you and you'll be able to say, no, I think this cannot work.
Yes.
There are calculations that people, like today, if you come and tell me, let's do this, we'll get, and I get many messages. Do you want to work at home? There is this company that is giving it. I'm like, I think I know this is not true. So there is that you need to position yourself, to a position that you are able to hear and understand where God wants to take you.
True. And it's also interesting that the word says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And it is from this knowledge that we are able to make good and wise decisions, also now coupled with hearing from God. But now allow me to read some of the comments that are coming in. This one says, Mercy, thanks for bringing my good friend on board. He always has positive energy and good advice. William says, much closer, you've got this good topic. Thank you, William. And he also says, he asks a question, how do you separate or set apart bad decisions and faith moves in business? We'll be coming back to that question. Allow me to read some of these comments. Lydia Mwangi says, tuned in from Highway Towers, Nakuru. Thank you so much, Lydia Mwangi. There's also another question that how do you balance the demands of running a business with staying true to your faith and your beliefs? We'll also be coming back to that. Reverend Elijah Mwangi says, tuned in. Thank you so much. John Maura says, tuned in. Thank you so much, John. Mercy, I like the point that says business does not start with money, but with ideas. Yes, you are right. Thank you so much for that. John Maura also says that through faith, everything is possible. Rosemary Mohammed says, tuned in. Thank you so much, Rosemary. Emily says, tuned in. Faith is everything to give us results. Thank you so much, Emily. And so let's get back to the questions. William asks, how do you separate or set apart bad decisions and faith moves in business? How do you put the boundary? Also, another question says, how do you balance the demands of running a business with staying true to your faith and personal beliefs? Also, same question, just that, she's asking how exactly do you make sure that you are staying true to your faith and there's no compromise when it comes to faith and in business?
Yeah, that's a very good question. How do you now stay true to your faith?
Yeah.
And you don't also compromise your business.
Yeah.
There's something that we agreed together that there is principles of life.
Right.
And it's very important to understand principles. Because when you don't understand principles, again, you move to something that is, again, not faith.
Yes.
We agreed that faith is substance.
Yes.
And I find it so much in Christians where God has given them a business, but they don't open the business.
Oh.
And then you hear them that we are crying to God.
Doesn't know.
And we know God will open doors.
Yeah.
But at times I think it's very important to understand that there is time for everything.
Everything, true.
Those are principles. And most of people, they don't know how to draw the line between principles and also to this that they call faith.
Faith.
And again, people push and they force so much. Let me ask you a question. If an Indian man will plant and then a Christian failed to plant, who will harvest?
The Indian man, of course.
By the end of the day, somebody did something.
Yeah.
They had this strong belief
that
helped them to have hope that if I do this, I'll harvest. And I think there is a need of drawing now the line and knowing that I'm not standing here, only to talk about faith. I'm also doing something. And earlier I told you that the Bible says, give and it shall come back
to you.
That's a principle that shall be used across the board. If a Muslim use that principle, it will work.
Yeah.
If a Christian use that principle, it will also work. So you need to be in a position whereby you're using the principles and you understand. You understand when to give and when not to give. And we say a good dancer should know when to quit the stage.
Yeah.
It is very important to know the times,
the seasons,
and the positioning. And especially in business, I normally tell people, don't expect magic. If you do not stock, then we don't have anything to buy.
Yeah.
So, and business, as much as we have said, it doesn't start, with money. Money is needed. Because by the end of the day, you see, you cannot stock without money.
True.
But you see, we start by faith. I normally tell people we start by vision. That's the idea.
Yeah.
The Bible says, write down
Your vision.
and make it plain. So it's very important when you have an idea, you put it down.
Yeah.
Then work towards the idea. Make sure that you are following. Whatever that the idea you have, you are doing the following.
Yeah.
You are doing the best
Yeah.
that idea requires. If it's positioning, if you have an idea to sell, like, for example, Tumba cloth, where is this place that people will see my business? So you cannot say that I'm selling Tumba cloth. You don't tell anybody and you're keeping them at home. And then you do prayers.
Yeah.
Then you say, I have faith. You need to do the line.
Yeah.
You need to know that when I have an idea, now I need to do the follow-up. I need the knowledge that will propel my idea. I think I have answered the question.
You have answered the question.
When you have you have faith, it doesn't mean that, again, you shall not put effort. You shall not look at the knowledge that is needed.
Yeah.
You need to know the seasons and all those things.
True. You have to follow the principles.
You have to follow the principles.
Yeah. Because faith without action is dead. Yeah. Yeah. As we wrap up the conversation, also allow me to read this comment from Martha Wambwe. Says, I love the discussion today. And thank you so much, Jackson, for also empowering us with your wisdom on faith and when it comes to business. This is a conversation I'd love it to continue. But for now, please, will you give us your parting shot to the audience?
Yeah. What I would want to say is that the Bible says that we shall decree a thing and it shall come to pass. Whenever we have an idea, it's important to speak it out. Because whatever we say, we create. And God himself created by the word of mouth. So if we want to have a good business, we better speak that business out. So if you're there and you're planning to have a business or you have an idea, I think you need to speak that idea. Give it power. Speak it out. The other thing you need to do, you also need to write it down. Because as I said that, you shall write down your vision. You should be able to write down your idea and follow it up. And I know most of the people, they talk about capital when they are starting business. And I believe if you have faith and you are honest enough, God has a way of providing. God himself will provide the idea that you have. The only thing you need to do the simple things that you need to do. For example, somebody like me, when I needed to start my business, I went to bank institutions so that I can get a loan. I did not start with many bicycles or with importation. I started with one bicycle. I grew my capital buy and buy. So we need to start from where we are, and we need to start with God.
Awesome. What a powerful parting shots. Hey, I really hope you have learned today. And that is quite an amazing way to also start your week. What idea do you have? Have you written your vision down? And also one of the most important thing we have heard from today is that businesses, it comes from an idea. So write your vision down, make it plain, and make sure you also submit it to God, because he will guide your paths and guide you through even as you go about your business. Well, that's it for today. Allow me to also, read some of the questions. There are some questions that have come in just now when we want to wrap up the show. Someone is asking, what principle will you advise that has worked for you so far when it comes to business and in faith? Also, Hannah Kabir says, tuned in. Also, William says, write your idea and follow it down. So the question is, what principle will you advise that has worked for you so far?
Give and it shall come back to you.
Wow, okay. Simple as that.
I really love that.
Yes.
I know you can never get if you don't give.
Yeah.
And God is in a business of, helping his people. So he cannot come down here to help his people. He uses us to help his people. We are the people who will take water to his people.
Yes.
So we must be in a position to give it out. And when we give it out, and this is what happened to Elijah, he went to the lady and said, give me the flour, give me the bread. Give me the bread.
Yeah.
If she never gave it out, she could not have received. So when we give it out, we are in a position to receive.
Right.
We should always be in a position to give it out, so that we can, even business, we invest, then we get. So give, it shall come back to you.
Also you are blessed so that you are blessed for you to become a blessing to other people. So definitely give and it shall come back to you. That is it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in on the Morning Uplift show. Each and every morning we come to you from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. bringing you the best of the best conversations as you get ready to start off your day. It is the 16th of September 2024. We are wishing you an amazing week. Make sure to keep your faith up. Make sure to also balance when it comes to principles and faith. Make sure that you are acting on your faith. Well, that's it for me and my guest in studio. Thank you so much for coming today. God bless you. And yes, we are wishing you an amazing day ahead, and may God bless you. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. And in the event you have also seen this online, please do share the link. Please do follow us on our social media platforms and send in the feedback to us via the number that is on your screen. That's it from me. See you tomorrow. May God bless you and have an amazing week and amazing day ahead. Thank you.
Truth TV, empowering you.